Things have settled down, but only marginally up front. Jeff Purvis at the front, 5-car draft. They're trying to break away. Everybody else is trying to find a place in line, and big trouble in the air. Goes Mark Martin on his roof. No, that is not. It is Ward Burton, excuse me. Jim Bound is in the wall. Phil Parsons has spun. Tommy Houston spins. And it's a tremendous slide down the front straightaway.
Mike, they're still wrecking down there in turn 1.
Rodney Combs and 3 other cars have crashed at turn 1 to end this one.
Yeah, that was Ward Burton that got upside down.
The one good thing, the car did stay on the roof and it went down through there. It didn't start flopping around a whole bunch.
Yeah, the good thing is the new pavement they've done right here. This really helped.
Daryl, he's taking the net down and coming out right now. All right.
What a slide for Ward Burton.
Well, you see where the car is, Mike? That used to be grass. If that was still grass, that car would have went flipping. But because it's asphalt, they just slid and came to a halt.
They're up with working with Stevie Reeves up there at the outside wall, dropping the window net to get Stevie out. You see Jason Keller, the front end of his car. He's run into something. A grinding crash here on the 11th lap. Ward Burton is okay.
It looks like Ward just got loose in the trouble here, and
that I believe is Phil Parsons.
Yeah,
walking back. He is okay.
Well, that's one of the first times I've ever seen the roof flaps not keep the cars down, but it was on the flat part of the racetrack where it lifted.
Let's show you what happened here.
You look back in there, oh, I see what happened. He got a tap. Ward got hit by Johnny Benson, I think it is. And that's
see the flat part of the racetrack. When he made to come back up on the racetrack, it flipped right up. The nice part of this, the car stayed on the roof. It did not start tumbling.
Right.
And everybody scatters.
Rodney Combs got in it there. You see the 43.
Yeah, it's just hard to take the evasive out. You never know which way to go. You don't know to go low. You don't know to go high. You can't hit the brakes. If you do, you crash.
And the other thing, you see all that smoke. Well, that looks bad there, but down on the racetrack, it's blinding. You cannot see through that smoke.
Here's another look. You'll see the initial contact here.
The one with Cat on it just gets tapped right there.
Now, the important point, if we can stop right there, when he goes to the flat, see the roof flaps are up and they're trying to do their job. But he's gone to that sharp angle between the racetrack and the apron, and that's what allows air to get under the car.
Right, it's that transition of the racetrack.
Oof.
Well, I know that looks terrible, but that was a good break that the car didn't start flipping over and over.
All right, we'll take the damage report and fill you in on who else has been involved in this incident and what the status of their cars are. When we come back, the best news we have is that as far as we can determine, everybody involved is okay. We'll update you as soon as we come back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Humminbird Fishfinder 500K on TNN is brought to you by Allied Signals Auto Light Spark Plug. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go.
Some of the cars that still sit down in turn number 1 include those of Bobby Hamilton, Curtis Markham. Now, they were caught up in what I would call the third incident, and Randy Porter. Phil Parsons' car was hard into the wall. He was squeezed into the wall by the machine on its roof, sliding the Ward Burton car. Jim Bound's machine is also still there. Everyone else has made it back to the garage area. Here's Larry McReynolds.
David, I know we kind of keep interviewing you in these situations. It's probably one of the worst wrecks we've seen here at Talladega since the roof flaps come along. What did you see from your vantage point?
Well, first of all, Larry, you know, it's the typical Busch race. There's 30-some cars going for the lead, it seemed like, and I had the outside there, and I thought it was going to be the lane, but, you know, nobody would work with nobody. And I guess I saw Ward's car go up there, and I slowed up, and Hud Strickland was behind me, you know, and he got into me, but there's nothing you can do going that fast, but the roof flaps worked a little while, it looked like, but over he went.
You going to get that Slim Jim Chevrolet back out there today?
Well, I tell you, it's awful disappointing. We had a best effort here on the speedway, and we really felt good, racy with it, but without a rear spoiler here, Larry, you know that's like walking on a thin blade of ice right there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I tell you guys, the cars just keep stacking up here in the garage area, so a lot of work going on down here.
Yeah, Larry, and I think it's important for us to make the point another time. The roof flaps did their job. What allowed the air to get underneath that car was the transition from the banking to the flat. When Ward Burton went across that area, it allowed, there was a big area underneath the car, air got underneath there, and that's why that car turned over. Let's show you from in-car what happened. This is Randy LaJoie.
Those cars up on the racetrack there, that was long after the accident actually occurred, and that was reaction to what happened to actually Randy LaJoie, who was way back in the wreck.
They were trying to move around his car that was stopped there.
Right.
Mike, that was probably the best footage I've ever seen on a wreck. That was exactly like you were in one of those cars that was being hit.
It was, buddy.
Makes me like my seat up here a whole lot.
And mine.
We'll be right back.
And mine.
There is the car of Ward Burton after that 1,000-foot slide on its roof and hood. Let's go to the garage. Larry McReynolds.
Okay, I'm here with another victim. Hut, we don't see you on the Busch Grand National Circuit much. Had a good qualifying run, but not where you'd want to be right now.
Well, we certainly didn't, Larry. You know, we had a gear in it that we felt like would be really good at the end of the race, and, you know, I figured I'd have to give up a little bit at the start, but, you know, we kind of lost a lot of spots there, and, you know, them guys got really racing pretty hard out there and got to racing too hard too early, and, you know, just one of them things. But, you know, it's Drugs for Less Kleenex Ford is really running pretty good. You know, it's just one of them things.
Okay, well, better luck tomorrow. Well, let's go out to pit road where Glenn Jarrett's was one of the top crew chiefs on the Busch Grand National Circuit.
Well, thanks, Larry. You know, immediately after that wreck, some of the members of Ward Burton's crew came down here to the lift and tee pits of Johnny Benson and expressed their displeasure with what happened. But I think there's a little more to it. Let's talk to Steve Bird, the crew chief. What did Johnny say, Steve?
Well, like he said, he says it's 200-mile-an-hour racing out there, and you know, we'll just try to go to a spot that wasn't there. And Johnny's sorry. Johnny no way would do it intentionally. Everybody in here knows that. We feel sorry for the Caterpillar crew there. Them guys, we know them real good. We're right beside each other. But if I was Caterpillar, I'd look at them, man. That was awful poor sportsmanship on their part, coming down here, hollering, screaming, and everything. But Old Amos and the Lipton T Chevrolet is going on.
Okay, no damage to speak of to the front of Johnny's car. Now, some of the other cars that did not have to go to the garage area, but that are making repairs, Tim Fedewa had some right side damage, as did Doug Hevron. Left side damage on David Bonnett's car. Also, Bobby Dodder came in. It didn't look like there was any body damage, but he may have run over some debris. They were checking his car. Tommy Houston, little damage to his car, and Patty Moweeks also made a pit stop to check hers over. Other than that, guys are going back to racing soon.
Thanks, Glenn. The initial contact happened in the tri-oval area, right in full view of everybody on pit road. Tempers will flare.
Well, you know, Mike, when you're running that many cars that close together, you got 2 or 3 lines of cars, 3 and 4 wide, you never know what's going to happen. The air is moving around tremendously around these cars, and it can suck one into the other, and the driver has no control whatsoever. So in defense of everybody out there, sometimes things get out of control, and you can't even help them. Sure.
You know, I was watching that wreck when it first started up here, and what happens, your normal line through there, you come in down against the wall, and as you come into the dogleg, you start cutting across lanes, and that's exactly what happened. He was coming down towards the preferred line through the dogleg here, and there was a car there, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you try to find out, you know, you look for the quickest line, and there was a gap between him and the cars in front of him. He may have decided to move down and go a different direction, and Johnny wasn't ready for it.
Caterpillar D8 doesn't have a flatter blade than that roof and hood.
That thing is laid back.
Yes, it is.
Mike, let's say something about the roll cage in that car, though. It stayed up, and as you can see, there's still a lot of room where the driver is. Right on the very front part of the roll cage there is down a little bit, but back there where the driver is right in place.
That's the best part.
Let's watch Ford, and let's see if he is in fact making a move that would Johnny Benson would not be ready for and cause Johnny to get into the back of it. Here they come down through the tri-oval.
See them coming. Well, they touch right there. They're pretty much running about the same line. I think maybe just that contact there. Your car is real light through there. You can see it jump up. Right here's the good part. You see where he's sliding here? A long time ago, where this black part is, it used to be grass. Right along here, that car would have probably started digging in and flipping end over end right there.
And if it didn't, some of these cars would, because all that black area to the left was grass here a year or two ago.
Yeah, you even see some cars that are going on down that black area and are going to come out ahead of the wreck and not get involved, and that would have never happened if they hadn't paved all this.
That's right. Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, we're in Chad Little's pits. They have the RCA DSS dish. We're watching the replays here.